For more on this, we're now joined by Willem Els, a Senior Training Coordinator at the Institute for Security Studies, and he joins us now via our telephone line for reaction on that briefing in which we saw from the JCPS cluster. Willem, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. I mean, police there, or rather the Justice, Crime Prevention and Security cluster, vowing to deal with anyone who attempts to disrupt the May 29 elections. What are your thoughts and your stance on the plans so far from government?
Good evening to you, Mbali. In the first place, it is good to see that the security cluster now is acting proactively, and they're also reassuring the public that they will be on top of things coming the national election, because this national election is different from the ones that we saw before. We anticipate some challenges in some ways, and that is why it is so important that your security cluster come out in full force and reassure the public about the security measures that will be in place.
And like you're saying, I mean, these are hotly contested elections with so many political parties taking part in these elections. How prepared should South Africa's security cluster be as we head to the May 29 polls?
Yeah, like we said, it's not the first election that they're going to oversee. What actually marked or blurred the image of the security cluster was actually the way that they reacted to the insurrection some 2 years ago. We know that our security or our intelligence services are under severe stress. They are busy at the moment with the Amendment Act, trying to put that through Parliament in order to address the shortcomings of our intelligence services. But we also saw, especially on the crime intelligence side, that there's been some inroads made in that. We saw some proactive intelligence-driven and intelligence-led operations that took place in recent weeks and months. So we believe that they worked hard towards getting their act together. Also, we must remember this security cluster has got the NAT joints under them, and in your NAT joints you have your security plans. So in terms of planning, in terms of organizing for any event, all of those measures are in place. It's just a matter of how are they going to implement that.
And Willem, you speak a lot about that unrest, that July unrest we saw in 2021. And, as a South African, can you trust the muscle of the security cluster, especially drawing back to the problems we faced in July 2021?
Yeah, well, in July 2021, let's be frank, I think our security operators were really caught with their pants down. They were really unaware of anything coming their way. They were also unprepared to counter that. There were no plans in place. They did not have the logistics in place, etc., etc. This time around, because they kicked in all these plans with the NAT joints, we believe that they might have better intelligence, that they can act proactively. We believe that it will be a different story.
And maybe let's jog your memory a bit. And we know that the biggest problem or threat to security in this country that we've dealt with mostly is that issue around the July unrest. But when you look at elections, one would say most elections in this country have been peaceful elections. Can you maybe take us back to an incident where we actually had a problem of security during elections?
Well, in the past, as you mentioned, we didn't have a real challenge in that. You had your normal challenges. You had your challenges of people that infringed on the rights of other parties, some fighting and all of that. But that was minor things. What changes everything this time around is that the polls anticipate that the ruling party might not get the desired majority that they are used to. That will open up for more competition between your smaller parties, and we believe, especially your newcomers on the block, they also will it will change the dynamics, and it all will come down to how their supporters behave themselves at the polls, and also when the outcomes come, how people will accept the outcomes. So those are the challenges that we have.
And how important is security, especially for a country like ours, or any country that holds, their national and general elections?
Security is important. You know, what our people are doing, we are exercising our rights to be heard when we are casting our vote, and that should be done in terms of our constitutional right. It says we should be free and fair and without fear. And that is the environment that is supposed to be created by this cluster, that voters can go to the voting booth and they do not have to fear that they will be attacked or that there will be violence, etc. So that is what this cluster needs to do. And in terms of what seems to be in place, they should be able to handle it. And it's all about implementing those plans. You know, South Africa, the South African police and security cluster, they are masters in planning. It is when it comes to the execution where we sometimes lack, and we hope that they will get that one right this time around.
All right, William, thank you so much for your time here on SABC News this evening. That is Willem Els. He is a Senior Training Coordinator for the Institute of Security Studies.